Anyway, this I wrote ages ago. I thought, if I'm doing 3 original songs tonight, I've got to not do the same 2 or 3 that I've been doing for the last 6 months. And so I'm going to crawl out on a limb and sawed off behind myself here a little bit. This is one of my classic lead sheets where I've got the lyrics on the top, all the chords on the bottom, not by any words, and some of it's in pencil, and I don't know, it's high wire time, high silliness time, really. But anyway, give it a shot. Last night I lay thinking about the places we've been, the time we spent together, building our dreams. Positive. I smiled to realize that back through it all, I never ever thought we'd fall. Where can we take it from here? It's hard to get higher than the mountaintop. I don't want to lose it, I don't want to stop. Where can we take it from here? We're no longer children, been around for a while, just like a long time ago. You like me with your smile. My heart fills up with tenderness. I love the life you've given me, your gentle, loving company. Where can we take it from here? It's hard to get higher than the mountaintop. I don't want to lose it, I don't want to stop. Where can we take it from here? I waken from my journey, it's been many miles, spent time together at our separate trials. If I had to do it over, I'd get started right away, so I'd get back to what I'm feeling today. I know we can take it from here. We'll just keep on soaring below our mountaintop. The sky is crystal blue, we don't have to stop, sailing through the atmosphere. I know we can take it from here. We'll just keep on soaring below our mountaintop. The sky is crystal blue, we don't have to stop, sailing through the atmosphere. Yeah, I know we can take it from here. Oh darling, I know we can take it from here. My darling, I know we can take it from here.
This is actually one of mine. Dino was talking about the worst bar. Well, if you come out of the worst bar up by Eastern's campus and you turn right and you kept coming down Cross Street and you went down the hill down by the railroad tracks, you'd get to the sidetracked bar where I did some guest bartending back in my youth. And the French family owns that whole block down there. Lyndon, Dave French, and Bill French, who passed away a few years ago. Um, so uh, one night, not too long ago, 10 years ago now, but I was coming back from Tennessee after a failed relationship, and this song uh, is about that event. It started to snow when I got to the top of um, Tennessee, and it snowed all the way home. So it took me 11 hours to get home from the middle of Tennessee, which is normally about a 7-8 hour trip if you're boogieing right along. So when I got into Depot Town, I said, I got to reset. So I went to the sidetrack. And when I walked in, the waitress, who was way too cheery for a snowy night, and I don't look great when I'm well rested, and I know what I look like when I've been on the road for 11 hours, came up to me, how are we doing tonight? So, and this song was born. It's called Sidetracked. Don't ask me how I am tonight. I don't believe you'd like what I might say. Just bring my drink and leave the chat. Turn and walk away. I just stopped in to warm my bones. 11 hours on the road. North of Knoxville, the rain turned to snow. I damn near died near Jellicoe. I can't believe in this whole place. I don't recognize one face. I used to stand behind that bar, watch the masses come and go. Hear the guilty spill their souls, then turn a hopeful eye to me. If I had the answers, is this the place I'd be? Anyway, snow is piling up outside, like memories of you, and I am lost. I am lost. Your voice inside my troubled mind keeps asking me to stay, though we both know I had to go. Between the ones we leave behind and the peace we never find, lives the hope that if we keep on trying, we can salvage what remains of a life lived in vain. But no matter how you try, some old habits and some old memories just won't die. Anyway, yeah, anyway. Don't ask me how I am tonight. That's it.
Live out in the country, way out in the middle of the farm fields in northwestern Ohio, and house faces west, and we get some really spectacular sunsets that we get to just view. And it's just, I've grown up in the country my whole life, and whenever I had to move into a city, I hated it. And once we got back out in the country, it was just so wonderful to see the wonderful painting that gets created in the sky some nights. And I sat there on my front porch one evening, and I just was looking out there and said, look at it, look at that. And I called to my wife and said, look out the window. So this song, it's called Look Out Your Window. Look out your window tonight. Look at the blue sky tonight. Colors fill the sky, clearing the troubles of the day. Look out your window tonight. The world's best artist is busy tonight. He fills the sky with his love. Brush strokes so graceful and bold. Look out your window tonight. Orange and red everywhere. Like a warm candle's glow, he lights up the night. Look out your window tonight. His choice of colors is just right. Red and orange have given way. On majestic purple the stars he'll lay. Did you look out your window tonight? God paints a new scene each night. Spreads his colors in the air. Don't miss his beauty, it's everywhere. Look out your window tonight. Look out your window tonight. Thank you.
Pretty solid.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
cool.
Like that.
On this trip I took a year ago, I selected many of the places to visit. It was, for those who don't know, it was 22 countries in 92 days, starting in January last year and ending a week from today, so a year ago, late April. And I selected many of the countries because of my love of their native music. And so I spent a total of 5 days in Spain and Portugal, but of the two, I have a real feeling for Portuguese music and the fado music of Portugal. And there is a word in Portuguese called saudade, and here's how it's spelled. So it's spelled saudade. S-A-U-D-A-D-E. It looks backwards to me. Is it backwards to you also, or forwards? It's forwards. So I used to think it said soldade or soldade or something, but it's pronounced saudade, and it's a Portuguese word. And my understanding of it, there's not a synonym in English, but it means deep longing with a tinge of regret. Melancholy is close, but not exactly it. Deep longing is probably the closest we're going to get. So what? Well, anyway, the entire national musical tradition of fado is based on this concept of saudade. And so when you listen to Portuguese fado singers, whether it's the old-timers like Emilia Rodriguez or new people like Ana Moura or Marisa or some of the current fado superstars, at the heart of it is kind of stream of consciousness poetry, not a lot of rhyming schemes, that is trying to communicate this feeling of deep longing and regret and melancholy. So it's a very melancholic music. And it even extends to the island of Cape Verde, which was settled by Portuguese, and like Cesara Evoria, who was like one of the first world music superstars in the early 90s, she's singing in Portuguese, and she's singing fado music with kind of an African flavor. Anyway, so I wrote this song, and it was a piece of crap. It was just on like a back of an envelope kind of a thing when I got back. And I left it because I knew it wasn't any good, but I thought it had potential. And I'm not sure it's 100% better yet, but I did rewrite it. And it has the name Soldace in it. And the name of the song is Gimetti Soldace. A person I admire a lot for his nerve, if nothing else, is Loudon Wainwright III, who likes to say in his concerts that every song he's ever written is about him. It's completely self-centered, and he's not ashamed of that, and there's a certain power in him singing about himself. I'm not saying I have that power, but by putting my name in the title, I'm making this all about me and about my melancholy. And it's about the melancholy that I felt when I returned from my trip. Not that the U.S. is bad and every other place is better. I'm not saying that. But it was such a relief to not be in this country for a fairly long time, to be in a bunch of different countries in a short amount of time, and then to come back to what we had a year ago, which was not the virus, but it was everything else about America. So anyway, this is called Gimetti Soldace. Anyway, here it goes. My grief, it narrows my path to joy. And what is joy, and how narrow is that path? How heavy is grief, and can it be borne? These questions are haunting my midnight. My soul, it aches for the world I seek. What does that world look like when I lower my veil? Is it reflection, projection, or casting of blame? These questions deserve some answer.
Just leave by doing that.
Gimetti Soldace, melancholic muse. Gimetti Soldace, colors my views. Nostalgic memories appear and diffuse, allowing grief to narrow my path to joy. My anger has prodded my will to act. And what is will, and how now should I act? And what is anger if not passion and flame? These questions seek to awake a desire to engage in the fight. But how to engage, and then how should I fight? And why to awaken if only to fight? These questions are haunting my midnight. Gimetti Soldace, melancholic muse. Gimetti Soldace, colors my views. Nostalgic memories appear and diffuse, allowing grief to narrow my path to joy.
The next one is called Free at Last, and it's a relationship song. My wife is inspiration for a number of different things. The story of my life is a complicated one. As you find a match, you never know how long it will last. The syncopated rhythms and complicated lines, burning pictures in the memories of my mind. I've traveled through this world and seen many things, it's true. A lot of ways to do things right, not only just a few. At the end of the storm, there's a rainbow. I'm finally seeing the light. At the end of the day, it's all because of you. Now I'm free at last. I'm free at last. By my side, I'm finally free at last. I'm free at last. Oh, free at last. With you by my side, I'm finally free at last. And in the end, we are unfolding our own destiny. When our lives join together, we'll be stronger. Free at last, yes, free at last. With you by my side, I'll finally be free at last. I'm free at last, yeah, free at last. Together we'll be finally free at last. Yeah, together we'll be finally free at last.
So here's my song for the patron saint of social isolation, living up in Walden, at Walden Pond near Concord. And I got the idea for this song. I've always been a big fan of Thoreau, and when I was in college in Boston, I made a pilgrimage to Concord and walked around Walden Pond. Speaking of walking around Walden Pond, these days you can only walk around Walden Pond in one direction. Everybody has to go in the same direction. And naturally, it's counterclockwise. So anyway, I read a story in the paper many years ago about a guy who is a professor of English, American Lit, at the University of Nevada at Reno. And when he's done teaching his fall and winter classes, he spends the summer, every summer, doing this really cool thing. He goes out to the Cape Cod National Seashore, which is one of the places that Thoreau wrote about. And he dresses up like Thoreau. And he walks among the people at the national park. The national park people, pay him. They pay him the magnificent sum of $8 a day to be a Thoreau impersonator. And he's dressed up and he goes around spouting Thoreauvian quotations. And I thought, that is the coolest thing I ever heard. This guy needs a song. Midnight at the casino, never fit my game. I am taken off from Reno and I'm taking a different name. In a suit of white linen, out there on the Cape, I am simple Henry David and I'm making my escape. And lake water in the morning sticks to my tongue like wine, and the rock pile by the cabin is work I know is mine. And I believe in an earlier hour than any I've yet profaned, maybe a higher power in shoes battered and stained. And when the light gathers in the morning and the dawn is coming on, when the sun begins to burn, all the sinners will return. I am in the woods for one reason, to see what's really there, and I'm gonna live my dreams out as far as I might dare. There's a pine tree bent in a windstorm, even on a calm fine day. on an island in a channel. It happened to me the same way. And when the light gathers in the morning and the dawn is coming on, when the sun begins to burn, sun begins to burn, all the sinners will return. Oh, each and every summer, out there on Cape Cod, I am talking with the tourists, and I'm talking to God. There's train tracks through the forest, a highway crossing at grade. I just come and go when I want to. Man, I got it made. And when the light gathers in the morning and the dawn is coming on, when the sun begins to burn, the sun begins to burn, all the sinners will return. And when the light gathers in the morning, dawn is coming on, when sun begins to burn, when the sun begins to burn, all the sinners will return. Lots of quotes from Henry David Thoreau mixed into that song.